App of Shadows. In the bustling city of Ravenwood, where technology was integrated into every facet of life, a new app called Shadows appeared on the App Store. Its description was vague, promising users a unique, immersive experience that connected them to the unseen world around them. Most people dismissed it as just another gimmick, but for technology enthusiast and high school senior Jason Myers, it was an irresistible curiosity. One rainy afternoon, Jason downloaded Shadows out of sheer boredom. The app opened with a stark, black screen, displaying a simple message: "See what lies beneath." It then requested access to his camera, microphone, and location. He hesitated for a moment, but his curiosity won out, and he granted the permissions. The app's interface was minimalistic, a live feed from his phone's camera overlaid with strange, shimmering symbols. As he moved his phone around his room, the symbols shifted and realigned, almost as if they were pointing to something. Intrigued, Jason started exploring his house through the app. In the living room, the symbols grew brighter around an old family portrait. When he focused on it, the app flickered and displayed a shadowy figure standing behind his younger self in the photo. He blinked and the figure was gone. "Just a glitch," he muttered, unnerved but intrigued. That night, Jason decided to test the app further. He turned off all the lights and began to walk around his house. The app's symbols were faint, but they pulsed gently, guiding him. When he entered the kitchen, the screen flickered again, and he saw a dark figure standing by the refrigerator. He pointed the camera away, and when he looked back, the figure had vanished. His phone buzzed, a notification from Shadows: "You're not alone." Jason's heart pounded. He quickly turned off the app and tried to brush it off as an elaborate prank or a clever marketing gimmick. But that night, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The next day at school, Jason shared his experience with his friend, Emma. She was skeptical but agreed to check it out. They spent the afternoon exploring different parts of the school with the app, but nothing unusual happened. Emma laughed it off, but Jason remained on edge. Later that evening, as Jason sat in his room, he received another notification: "Look outside." His stomach churned with dread, but he couldn't resist. He opened the app and pointed his camera towards the window. The symbols flared to life, and through the phone, he saw the dark figure standing in his backyard, staring directly at him. Jason dropped the phone, his hands trembling. He peeked out the window but saw nothing unusual. He picked up the phone and deleted the app, hoping to end the nightmare. But the damage was done. Over the next few days, strange things began happening. Objects in his house moved on their own, whispers echoed in empty rooms, and shadowy figures flickered at the edge of his vision. His parents noticed his jumpiness but attributed it to stress. Desperate, Jason reinstalled the app, hoping to find a way to stop whatever he had unleashed. This time, the app's interface was different. It displayed a countdown. 59 minutes and 59 seconds, 1 hour left. He didn't know what it meant, but he felt an urgent need to act. The symbols now guided him with more intensity, leading him to the basement. As he descended the creaky stairs, the temperature dropped. The app showed multiple figures crowding around him, closing in. Panic set in, but he forced himself to move forward. In the basement, the app directed him to an old, forgotten chest. With trembling hands, he opened it to find an antique mirror covered in dust. The countdown read 30 seconds. He cleaned the mirror, revealing an ornate frame with symbols matching those in the app. 10 seconds, the app flickered, and Jason saw his reflection, but it wasn't just him. The dark figure stood behind him, closer than ever. As the countdown reached 0, the screen went black, and a final message appeared: "Welcome to the Shadows." Jason felt a cold hand on his shoulder. He turned to face the figure, but there was nothing there. The phone slipped from his hand, and everything went dark. The next morning, his parents found the basement empty. Jason was gone, his phone lying shattered on the floor, the screen displaying only a single line of text: "He's with us now." Days turned into weeks, and Jason became another missing person in Ravenwood. His disappearance became a local legend, a cautionary tale about the dangers lurking in the dark corners of the internet. And every so often, late at night, his channel would come back online, streaming the abandoned house from reflection, the whispers echoing, "Join us." The mystery of echoes in the stream remained unsolved, a haunting reminder that sometimes, when you look into the abyss looks back. Jason's disappearance didn't end the strange occurrences linked to the Shadows app. His friends and family couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Emma, feeling guilty for not believing Jason's initial warnings, decided to investigate further. She managed to retrieve Jason's shattered phone from his parents, hoping to find some clue. Emma took the phone to her tech-savvy friend, Mark. He was known for hacking and had a knack for uncovering hidden codes. Mark managed to piece together the phone's data and found fragments of the Shadows app. "This is some advanced programming," he murmured, eyebrows furrowing. "It's like the app was designed to do more than just display images. It interacts with the environment." They restored the app and reinstalled it on a fresh phone. The interface looked the same, with the live camera feed and symbols. As they explored Mark's house through the app, the symbols seemed less random and more like a language. They documented the symbols and tried to decipher them. One night, Emma received a notification on her own phone from an unknown number. "Help him." The message was followed by a live feed from Jason's room, but it was different. There were symbols drawn all over the walls, glowing faintly. Emma felt a chill run down her spine. "Mark, we need to go to Jason's house." They snuck into Jason's house late at night. The house was eerily quiet, the air heavy with an unspoken tension. Following the app's guidance, they found themselves in Jason's room. Emma scanned the walls with the phone, revealing the same glowing symbols from the live feed. "Look," Mark pointed to the mirror in the corner. It was the same antique mirror from the basement, now in Jason's room. The symbols seemed to emanate from it. "This mirror is the key," he said. As they approached the mirror, their phones buzzed simultaneously. 10 minutes. A new countdown began. The symbols pulsed, and the room grew colder. Shadows in the corners seemed to twist and writhe. "We need to figure this out before the timer runs out," Mark said, urgency in his voice. They frantically worked to understand the symbols. Emma noticed that when she touched certain symbols on the mirror, they changed color. It was a puzzle. They aligned the symbols as best they could, forming what looked like a cohesive pattern. The timer read 30 seconds. The mirror's surface rippled like water, revealing a dark void beyond. A figure emerged, Jason, but his eyes were wide with terror. "Help me," he screamed. Reaching out, Emma grabbed his hand, feeling a cold, almost electric shock. Mark pulled as well, and together they dragged Jason out of the mirror. As the countdown hit 0, the mirror shattered, pieces falling to the floor with a deafening crash. Jason collapsed, gasping for air. "Thank you," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. "They were going to take me." The room fell silent. The symbols faded, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. Jason explained that the Shadows app was a gateway, designed to pull people into a realm inhabited by dark entities. "They feed on fear," he said. "The more scared you are, the stronger they get." Emma and Mark deleted the app from all their devices, vowing to never speak of it again. But the experience left a permanent scar. They knew that some corners of the digital world were best left unexplored, and that curiosity sometimes invited the darkest of shadows into the light. In the following days, Jason tried to return to a normal life, but he was haunted by nightmares. He moved away from Ravenwood, hoping to escape the memories. Emma and Mark stayed in touch, bound by the terrifying experience they had shared. They couldn't forget the app or the entities it harbored, always wondering if they truly destroyed it or if it lingered somewhere, waiting for the next curious soul. Late at night, when shadows danced on the walls and the wind whispered through the trees, they sometimes felt the app's lingering presence, a reminder that some technologies are better left untouched.